Hi, you guys. Welcome to Thought Shit Podcast, or welcome back. So on our podcast, we talk about our favorite fictional tea, story times, and advice you probably don't want to hear, but you need to. So my name's Kiara.
I'm Carson.
And today, what are we going to be talking about, Carson?
We're talking about something a little different. It's not really a story time, it's kind of a culmination, like a topic. But our episode's going to be titled, quote, "Wow, you're so exotic," end quote, life at predominantly white schools. So we're just going to be talking about our experience. We both grew up with the whites. We know them well.
I'm 60% white. I checked my ancestry DNA. Oh, that was a shocker. I'm 40% black.
Well, I can't say the same. But we're just going to be doing kind of more candid. Talking about my experience growing up, Kiara's experience, and kind of adulthood.
Yeah. I'd say basically like our experiences as black women, starting from like early life, middle school, high school, college, like now adulthood.
Right.
But yeah, and we have stories.
We have stories. A lot of them we're like putting aside that are just like really good stories for specific story times.
Yeah.
We have a lot of little stories, triggers, if you will, life lessons.
Yeah, but you'll laugh along the way. Have no fear.
Yeah.
No fear.
If you get triggered, sorry.
Oh well, we lived it.
Us too.
Sorry. No, literally. So, okay, so I guess to start, so we grew up in completely different areas.
Right, I think we should each do a little background.
Yes, I was going to say, so I grew up in San Diego at a predominantly white so I went to private school until 7th grade. I got into a predominantly white private school, like a college prep school. Like I was going to school, like ex-President Ford, like his grandsons type shit, or like
wow,
the sons and daughters of doctors, CEOs of company, like founder of like Burger King, like crap like that. And then I'm just there, good grades. I think they thought, because at the time I played basketball, I think they thought maybe they had a star on their hands. They not athletically, no.
Yeah.
No. But with that, so the private school, it was ages grades 6 through 12. I think each grade had roughly like 120 people. And on my hand, I could count myself and all the black people in the entire school when I started there in 7th grade. So that's where my background's. Oh, and then I'd also say, I mentioned I'm black and white. So my mom's white, dad's black. So I have that mixed family.
Yeah, for me, I'm from Washington State, born and raised. I've always been amongst the whites forever.
Caucasoids.
Wow.
The Caucasoids. No, it's a real, I swear. From the Caucasus Mountains.
Hey, Caucasoids, if you're watching. So, yeah, I always lived pretty close to Seattle, like 30 minutes outside in just like a white, very like business forward area. So like how you're saying, I went to school with like Bill Gates' kids.
See, what?
And like just that type of nonsense was a cool flex. But like just it was like a whole culture. Like I've gone to private school my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Since preschool.
Also,
which is crazy.
Didn't you say, what was it? You were at a Catholic all-girls?
That's
at one point.
School.
Oh, okay, but so still private though, like you.
But so I've pretty much gone to private school my entire life.
Yeah.
Which just says something in itself.
Yeah.
Crazy. But I've always been like probably white area, and got a lot of memories. A lot of core memories from the early days.
Yeah, I would say segueing into that, like for you specifically, what's the one word that will literally make you tweak out if someone calls you?
Okay, it's not a word, it's a phrase. When people say, "Oh, you're like the whitest black person I've ever met," I'm like,
what's the food they call you?
Well, they call me Oreo. That's irrelevant. I feel like that's such a thing, like a lot of people get called.
Yeah.
That are like, "Oh, you talk white, whatever." Oh, yeah, Oreo. Okay, be original. But people even say to me now, like, "Oh, you're the whitest person we've ever met." Oh, I can't even tell you're black. Like,
what
using it as like a compliment.
What is that?
And I'm like,
oh, like you're doing well at hiding.
Right, like, oh my god, like you're so well spoken, like there's no way.
See,
Which is...
When they say you articulate yourself so well.
What does that mean?
Why? Because you didn't expect me to?
Yeah.
Why didn't
that's why.
Exactly. So why didn't you expect me to?
And in my recent times, it's always been people like I know mean well, or they genuinely think it's funny, and I'm like, literally, do you know how many times someone has said that to me? Like, it's not original or funny.
Yeah.
And it really pisses me off. I literally had to talk to my therapist about it. Because I didn't realize how much it triggered me until someone said it to me a couple months ago, and I, like, fully went off. Not on them, but to someone else in the mix.
Oh, yeah. You were out, though? Like, in a
It
group
was
setting?
someone I knew's family member said it to them about
yeah.
meaning it as like, oh, ha, hee, hee, ha, ha. And then they told me, I was like, oh, hee, hee, ha, ha. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Like, that pissed me off.
Because it's like, what does that mean?
Right.
Like, what does that even mean?
What does it mean? So that's like my one thing that will, like, send me off. What about you?
Oh, it immediately came to me. You're pretty for a black girl. Sit with that. No, like, sit with that. What the does that mean?
You're, like, pretty but not pretty enough.
And it's also like, okay, so you're suggesting a lot here. So you're saying black women are typically ugly, but I'm an outlier. But even though I'm a pretty outlier in comparison to the beauty standard, which tends to be white women, I'm still ugly. Like, what kind of compliment is that? The first time I got that compliment, I was in 7th grade. I had a crush on this guy. We'll call him Henry. Henry Hopstead. There we go. Hopstead. Yeah. If you know, you know. I can't. He really told me in one swoop, you're fat and you're pretty for a black girl. In 7th grade, if you see this, I cried the whole bus ride home, and I never forgot that. Literally, 7th grade, I still think about that. And I, to this day, still get that compliment. Like,
I don't think I've ever gotten that compliment.
That's the most frequent one I get.
Wow.
That's why I'm just, like, done. Like, I am not interested. Like, just say I'm pretty.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you? Like, date white women then. Like, I'm like, don't make me feel like that.
Weird thing to say.
Like, there's a lot to unpack on that one. I would say, or this one too. I've had guys, it's like along the same boat. They'll be like, oh, you're not my usual type. Why would you even tell me that? Like, I literally had a guy, mind you, I think I was bigger at the time too. I know I always talk about my weight loss but it's like, that's like very relevant for me because the way people treat you when you are bigger versus smaller, it's so different. It is so different. But it's crazy because I had a guy tell me straight up, like we were like on a date. I can't remember if it was before or after the date. He was like, oh yeah, my normal type is tall blonde volleyball players. But I thought you were cute.
Like, wow. Now send me into spiral. No, only white guys have said to me on first dates, you know, let's look for some of the black girls.
Oh my god, yeah.
You know, I don't care.
Sorry, I can't.
I didn't ask.
Because it's like,
no, because they think you're going to be like, oh, that's so hot, I'm different. No.
That's so
I don't care.
I'm different. I'm like, that turns me off because I'm like, oh, so I'm either an experiment or you just told me I am not your type. No, like, break this down. I need my man to be all about me and how I look. Like, I know people have eyes. Do not get me wrong. Like, we can have our celebrity crushes. We can acknowledge when people are attractive. But let's say my man, his whole track history is skinny white blondes.
Mm-hmm. Like, so, where do I fit in? No, I don't say I have a type. I used to.
Yeah. I think
we know. But I don't anymore. Towards, like, if a guy's cute, he's cute, whatever. Okay. Well, okay. You need to be tall. Okay? That's a non-negotiable. I don't even count that as my type.
She's horrible. She's like minimum 6'5".
My
6'5" or don't even look me in the eyes.
My husband would be no shorter than 6'3".
She's serious.
So, okay. But I'm talking about, like,
No, I know.
Race, ethnicity, hair color,
Yes, but
whatever.
Just,
I don't care. Hot is hot.
Yeah.
But, like, I just think that's so weird. Like, oh, let me tell this guy I'm on a date with. Oh, I've never dated a guy that looks like you. He doesn't care.
Like, what are we supposed to say to
okay.
that? No, logically be like, what's the conversation? How do we continue that conversation?
No, my only response has been, okay. That's the point I was like, okay.
Like, what the are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. That's sick.
It is sick.
Yeah. I'd also say, this is something where we differ in our experiences a lot, with it being California versus Washington. Where I grew up, swear, it wasn't just that the beauty standard was white blonde. It was actually, like, anorexic. Like,
yeah.
And I'm genuinely saying that. These girls, they'd be like, oh, I forgot to take my, I take Adderall, so I keep forgetting to eat.
Yeah.
When they already are like 5'9", naturally very skinny and thin built people, and now they're not eating. And that was literally what guys wanted. So mind you, I'm a chunky black girl. I already don't think in comparison I'm pretty, because they're telling me I'm not pretty in comparison. I don't look like any of the girls any of these guys are going after. And I'm like 3 times the size of these girls. Like, I didn't think I was actually pretty until like midway through college. Because of that.
Yeah. I didn't think I was actually pretty till I was like 17.
But I'd also say, though, the beauty standard in Seattle
is different.
Very different. And you had a nice glow up in high school too.
Yeah.
I had a late glow up. I had 2, because I had a kind of like a mini glow up college, because like you kind of go through puberty a little bit again. My second glow up was after I graduated college. So like all throughout elementary, middle, high school, I was always like the big insecure girl who just thought she was ugly. I literally thought I'd been pretty for like 3 years. I'm a baby. Like I'm like a newborn.
No, I feel like, because when I was in elementary school, obviously like I had my crushes, but I was like 6. So who cares?
Yeah.
And then middle school, I went to an all-girls school. Catholic all-girls, but I'm religious.
Fun.
It was horrible. It was awful. But everyone was a girl.
Yeah.
And I was swimming that way. So I was like, okay, whatever. But I have an older brother. So all of his friends that was... It was on the rugby team. Bro.
Sorry.
Those Argentinians.
Oh.
My 14-year-old self could not handle. But... So I just saw guys from the outward view. But at the time, they're 2 years older, but... They seem so much older.
Right. When
you're like 13, 14, like, oh my god, like they're juniors in high school.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Those years have a lot of weight
just
to them.
whatever, but I always, like, I thought I was ugly just because of social standard stuff. But I never really knew what the type was. I didn't have any black friends. And then when I went to high school, then I went to school like in downtown Seattle where it was more diverse. I started having more black friends and stuff. And then I started, like, leaning into it more. And then in Seattle, there's not really, oh my god, there's not really, like, a specific type. Like, it's kind of, if a girl's pretty, she's pretty. Like, there were really popular girls who were, like, super pretty, like, Japanese girls, and, like, really pretty, like, white girls, and really pretty black girls. Like, guys didn't really care like that.
Oh.
And body types, like, slim thick was, like, in
Yeah.
In like 2015, 2016.
Which is crazy because Skin and Bones was it in La Jolla.
Yeah. So all the girls that were like super popular in my school were like the athletically built girls. Wow. Like the gym girly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was different, and then I came to SoCal. Whew, scary.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, with me, so I was always the token black girl. With that small of a school, and I went to the same school 7th through 12th grade.
Yeah.
No, like, I mean, we would get more black people as the years went on, but they were the 6th graders. What am I going to do with a 6th grader?
12.
Well, irrelevant. That don't even count. Who are you? You barely exist.
I can really only say, like, true friends Like, besides you. I've only had, like, 2 black friends.
Oh, no, literally did not have black friends until, which is also funny. Oh, like, going to college. I know, we'll bleep it out. Like, with going to a predominantly white college, too.
Right.
And then that's where I finally meet you. And then we had, like, a little black girl friend group at one point, too.
Yeah.
Which was wild. Like, just because I always had white and Asian friends.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, mostly. And then, like, so then with that, going to college now, so just in Orange County, very different. I grew up in San Diego. Like, it's only an hour and a half away, but there's more, like, how do I word it? Like, some of the white guys were more willing to go on dates.
Willing.
You know, I know.
So
literally
sad.
how I have to word it. Horrible. It's like some were more down for black girls, whereas when I fully grew up, middle school, high school, that was not a consideration at all, and I was chubby. Fast forward to college, I'm like, oh, like, there's more Latinas. Actually, that's a bigger thing that I'm realizing, too, because when I went to middle school, high school, it really was, like, just all white people, all Asians. Like, even less Latinos than black people. So, being more in the Orange County area, there is a bigger, like, Latino community. And I think with that, because I don't know how to word this, like, guys who tend to be interested in Latinas or black girls tend to also kind of be interested in the other. Like, I feel like we have similar qualities. Like, I don't know how to word that. Like, features, kind of, like...
Like, features, like body type.
Yeah, like, I'm like, yeah, body type, kind of. So they tend to be interested in both. But even so, I'm getting comments like... I was like, we might have to bleep some of this out. I really had a white man from my college tell me when I 19, that him and his other white friends have had conversations about how black women's vaginas are more stretched out than any other woman's.
Tell them why.
Why, you might ponder? Because women, but actually...
Are you gonna read it verbatim?
Actually, let me read it verbatim.
Okay, while you're pulling it up, I'll tell the preface of this story for you.
Yes, thank you.
He went to our school, dating app match, correct?
Yes, but we went to the same school.
You went to the same school?
And actually had rival high schools in... But
from the same area.
Yeah, but we didn't know.
And he prefaced him writing out the statement, reading it through, and then choosing to hit send with his friends. Which is so bizarre.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna... I just took a screenshot, like, this week, too.
Really?
Oh, this is gonna make
And when you read it to me for the first time, I was in disbelief.
But he literally says, we inherently, as black women, our vaginas are more stretched out because black women only like to have sex with black men, and black men have larger penises than your average man. He said this was a conversation that he had with multiple other white men, and they agreed why.
Because they know nothing. They know nothing. The fact that they sat down and had that conversation, first of all, why? How'd we get on that topic?
Like, what are we talking about? No.
I was crying when you read that to me for the first time.
You know what? I'll just pull it up right on Snapchat. I think I literally do have it. I can't.
And then he hit you up again after he sent that.
Which was insane. Which was actually insane. Oh, I do have it.
Read it.
That's crazy. He goes, the answer is extremely if you're ready for it.
I'm not ready.
Basically, and mind you, there's not one punctuation mark in this whole thing. I'm going to read it how he wrote it. Basically, it's because black guys have bigger dicks, and white guys assumed that black dudes go for black girls, and it's assumed by all men that if a pussy is loose, it means they're a hoe. And another assumption is that because it's a big dick, it makes the pissy loose, if that makes sense. Long story short, it is racism to some degree.
Not a pissy loose.
What I mean by that is that they assume most black girls come from the hood. It's very and I'm sorry you have to deal with that. This opinion might be biased because I sadly know quite a few racist people. Any other questions?
What did you ask him that prefaced that?
I said, why does it seem like white guys are just, like, not into black girls? Because I told him how it seemed like they weren't into me at the high school I went to, and now they don't seem into me at this college. No. And that was the answer.
For the longest time, I was really asking myself, like, trying to crack the code. I was like, how are black girls getting white boyfriends? I literally was like, I could not crack the code. Because there was a time, like, when I really want a white boyfriend. I didn't care. But I was like, how are they doing that? Because I could not figure it out. White guys were not into me like that for the longest. I was like,
there's multiple couples
how do
I see in my mind right now, and I'm like, how did that happen?
And like all my celebrity crushes when I was younger, my poor sweetheart, were all white men. So I was like, dude, I'm never gonna be able to date someone white.
At the college we went to, if you did see a white guy dating a black girl, she was super light skinned. And like they wouldn't dare even cast a glance in a dark skinned bitch's way. Hell no.
Yeah.
And even if they did though, because there were multiple occurrences where they'd be down to just hook up with a dark skinned girl, multiple occasions, but they didn't want anyone knowing it happened. Like
or they would want to do some crazy stuff while they were doing it.
Like some race play.
Yeah.
Like I'm the master and you're a slave. I'm not us. Though we know, just not us.
We won't name names, but boy, have we heard stories. We've heard stories.
So it's like when you're coming into a dating area like that.
Right. No, when I came in at like our school, I was like, forget about it. Let's just give it up, because
I tried.
No. It wasn't worth it.
I think I tried twice with white boys, and
it wasn't worth it.
I haven't since. It's been 6 years.
Really? Wow. Yeah, no, it just wasn't worth it. The majority, yeah.
And then, like, for me, too, going into college, so I had always grown up obsessed with the idea of a boyfriend, because I'd be in middle school, high school, seeing everyone else had already had their first boyfriend. Now, in hindsight, it's middle school, that's not a real relationship.
Right.
But it's like, I felt so behind. And, like, being bigger, too. Like, I didn't even wear a bikini or a bathing suit for the first time until last year, after I graduated college. Like, that's why I'm like, this is a new me, like, completely. But, like, I keep losing my train of thought. I hate myself. It's been a long day. We just had Heart House, so I'm stuffed.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was better the other days now. I don't know what happened. After we had Impossible Shop, it just changed our mind.
Literally nothing to beat it.
But, yeah, like, being obsessed with the idea of a boyfriend. So going into college, like, I really weighed my self-worth upon, like, a guy finding me attractive.
Right, I did too, absolutely.
Yeah, and I only stopped feeling that way this year. It's 2024.
Girl.
After my ex, from episode 1, that's what finally, like, shifted my perspective. And that was only, like, a year and a half ago now. Barely.
Right.
A year. Yeah.
I'm like, when did I stop? Because for the longest time, I was like, I'm the ugliest girl in the world. No one can tell me different. In, like, middle school, no.
That's
don't talk to me. That was middle school's like a different type of insecure. Where it's like, no one's gonna love me, and I'm gonna have my first kiss, and I'm gonna die alone. Like, that's middle school.
Tumblr.
All I watched were Nicholas Sparks movies, like crying about how I'll never have a boyfriend. Like, literally, that was my entire, like, pubescent era.
Dude, that was me until I was 19. When I finally dated my first ex, which, like, that was so for me, because I had always wanted a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like, I put way too much into that also, because it's like, you can't, like...
But first relationships, you know.
Yeah, but so, like, that ex, he was Korean, but it was a different experience for me, too, because he did like black girls. Like, that is his type. Latinas and black girls. That's the first guy I'd ever talked to where his type just wasn't white girls. And I wasn't just the odd one out. So, like, that made me feel secure until he cheated. But, you know.
Wow.
shit happens, what are you gonna do?
Right.
But it's just crazy because, like, I felt the same way going into my next relationship. I really valued, I really, really just cared about the idea of having a boyfriend and, like, what that meant. And then that boyfriend was racist, too. Both of my exes would try to fight me on saying the N-word. And I was like, you're not black.
Neither of them are black.
Both of them. And the first one, you know who you are. I knew he said it on the reg, because one time someone cut him off. He immediately he was like, what the you're Korean!
No, you know what the first red flag was, too?
With that one?
Yeah, do you know what it was? Think hard.
Did it have something to do with the dating app? Or something? No, what is
Him.
it? What?
The fact that he used to wear his hair in cornrows, bro.
Oh yeah, he used to have braids.
And he's Korean.
A Korean nigga with braids.
A protective style for what? What needs to be protected?
The do-rag? No, you're right. I should have known. But he was 6'4".
No, sometimes, like, hot take. Why do white people have dreads? I don't get that type of stuff. What's the purpose of it? It's harder for a white person to put their hair in dreadlocks than to just wear it natural.
Sorry, I can't. I forgot that my first ex had braids. You really just... Oh, wow.
I don't get that.
He thought he was black. He didn't want to be Korean.
He just wanted to be...
Because he was the sound engineer. He was always around black. He wanted to be black. Maybe that's why
it's starting to be cool with black people. You don't have to try and act black. Quotes.
And then the second ex, he said... So the Doja Cat song, Niggas Ain't Shit. Mm-hmm. He said the name of the song right before we were about to go eat dinner together. Like, we were going to go on a date.
But actually, I lost my appetite.
No, and I literally was like, why'd you say that? And he was like, well, I didn't say it. It's in the song. And I was like, you said it, though. But it came out of your mouth. And he kept being like, I didn't say it. I said the name of the song. But you formed the words with your mouth.
You spoke it.
These were the mind games these would play with me. And this is what I was willing to accept, because in my head, I was like, well, I'm just that's so horrible. I'm just like a fat black girl. Like, that's literally how these people would make me feel. Like, I felt lucky to take what I could get. And so now I'm very much like, I know who I am. I'm proud of who I am. I want to work on myself, focus on myself. I can't pour myself into men who aren't black, who are gonna beg me to say nigga. Beg me.
That's also such a thing.
Beg me.
Why do white people want us to say it so much?
Because it's something they know they can't say, so they want it. They want everything. Men.
They want everything. They want everything from us.
Like, I don't get it. I
don't get it.
That's so strange to me. But so, oh my gosh. Yeah, that guy, I can't. So, like, with that, though, I would consider myself, like, a late bloomer in some ways. I guess, like, now into our adulthood, which is weird to say, because we're, like, baby adults. I'm not real.
If you guys don't know, we're 24.
Yeah, we're baby adults. Adult juniors.
Yeah.
Or actually, before adulthood, did you already mention, because I think this is interesting, the, like, culture shock.
For me?
Yes, that's huge, actually. Because at least the way Carson described it to me, like, she did fit the beauty standard in Seattle. Like, she's pretty now. She's always been pretty. But, like, the point is, like, she was used to getting hit on and, like, guys finding her attractive. She comes here.
Right. No, so, like, I didn't have, like, my glow up, per se, because I used to be ugly, let's be real.
We all
in, like, junior year, you know? Like, once I started getting black friends, I learned, like, oh, I probably shouldn't be using, like, Pantene. Like, buy hair. I should probably invest in, like, a leave-in conditioner.
Like, maybe I should get
You know
some
what
shea
I mean?
butter.
Like, I didn't know
bitch.
anything. Even though both my parents, my whole family is black. How did you fail me in this way? Like, I didn't know so many things, like hair stuff, whatever. You know?
You just made me think of my black friends, Jalen and AJ. They every year they'll ask me, Kiara, what do they say? They're gonna laugh at this. They're like, where's the kitchen? Where's the kitchen?
Yeah.
Apparently,
right.
It took me like 8 years to
If you
remember
have an
that.
excuse, you're half white. What do I have? I have nothing.
I know. I'm like Irish as literally so Irish.
No, so Seattle, like I went to school in like the suburbs, right? And then for high school, I went to school like in the city of Seattle, you know. So it was a lot more diverse to where, yeah, I started fitting the beauty standard more. Guys started showing some more interest in me. I don't know. I just like got used to it, I guess. Feeling myself a little too hard.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, cute. Let me go to California for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I moved down here. And I was like fresh out of a relationship from like my high school boyfriend, whatever. Guys were not giving me the time of day. The time of day. And I was on the basketball team at the time in college. I was the only black girl on the team. What's that about?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a basketball team.
That coach was racist, crazy. But anyways, a lot of the other girls were getting attention on the basketball team, like 6'2", like beautiful, like blonde girls. You know who you are. Love you, but whatever. And then yeah, guys were just not. So I was like, dang, like I'm ugly again. Like,
He said again.
I'm ugly again. Because that's such a horrible feeling, like, you know what I mean? Like, being in a group, right? Because this always used to be a thing. I used to be, like, when I was younger, like, the only black girl in a group of, like, 10 white girls. You're, like, the only girl that doesn't get any attention from anybody. That's such a horrible feeling.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, wow, I'm just the ugly duckling of this bitch. Like, that sucks.
Literally, so my whole life, it makes me sick. Regardless of who my bestie was or like the girl I was hanging out with at the time, throughout, this has happened middle school, high school, all throughout college, the guys always like the girl I'm with. And it's not just like, oh, she was a white blonde. No, one was Asian, one was a white blonde. Carson, too.
Oh, I was like, what?
You too. No, but yeah, Carson too. Like that shit. And then men will have the audacity, this is weird too, little off topic, but men will really go after Carson, she'll reject them, and then they come and hit on me.
Because we're different fonts of each other.
Like,
if they want one of us, they want us both.
No, like, it's so weird. It's so weird. When we're together, we get weird attention.
Comes out.
Yeah, like, we get catcalled, like, but if we're separate,
yeah,
nothing. It's like, not, but like,
I get catcalled when I'm alone.
Yeah, you're in LA too. That area.
Especially in Orange County, dude.
Oh, when the bike riding shit?
I'm getting catcalled by men in trucks pulling over, torsos out the window, like.
Hey, I will say though, it is a confidence boost. I've had no, because get me this. You're scaring me. However, you found me so attractive. You were like, I need to pull the car over. Like
I don't feel
no, I do, because there was like a truck of like what do you call them? Construction workers. We were at a red light together. They were like, you're so pretty. I was fucking dying. I was inching forward slowly but surely. But I was like, thank you. Like you could have just left that in your head. You didn't have to tell me. The door's locked.
Right. Oh my god. Dude, guys have tried to open my car door multiple times. Just come up to me. I'm like, bro, what in the world?
Literally, I mentioned how I'm a gym manager. There's a guy who literally figured out which car was mine and started parking next to it. He knew when my lunch break was. Even when I would have headphones on, he'd sit there and knock on it and want to talk to me and be like, oh, are you on your lunch break? Are you dumb? What? Like, what?
Can you not talk to me actually?
No.
Thank you.
Can you not talk to me, actually? But no. But no, it's hard because, like, especially in college, because my bestie at the time and roommate was a white blonde who, at the time, the bane of my existence. We would hang out. We'd be in the cafeteria together. This shit hurts to this day. And it's not even because, like, oh, I was interested in the guy. It's just, like, a respect thing. These guys, her and I, would be having a conversation, eating lunch. They just come and sit down, and they're like, oh, nice to meet you. This is my name. To her, doesn't even just say a hello to me.
Yeah.
Never.
That's my thing. Some guys just won't acknowledge me. Which is weird. Like my roommate's boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
I lived in the home. I was a resident. He'd never talk to me. Would just walk right past me. I wasn't there. Oof, I'm a ghost.
Yeah, white guy.
Like, white guy from Idaho.
You was racist. What do you... No, I don't
know. Because I never talked to him.
But no, see, that's weird.
But I was just like, this is so bizarre. I don't know, just stuff like that. And then bringing it to adulthood, I guess. Because that happened in my adulthood.
Yeah.
Like in the roommate situation. You know who you are? Hey, girl. But, like, I've had some experiences where people have just, like, ignored me or done stuff, or just blatantly called me the N-word, whatever. That's cute, too.
What are you gonna do?
But, just, like, such blatant acts of, like, well, you're like this because you're black, or whatever, to where it's like, why are we still doing that? Like, I feel so unaffected. I'm like, yeah, say it again.
Right, we're both numb now. I'm like, call me a monkey again.
Yeah.
Do better. I'm like, I don't know what comments are gonna hurt my feelings anymore because I'm numb. You call me fat, okay?
Yeah. Like,
I don't care.
Like, yeah, no, what are you?
No. I'm like, post a picture. You're on a burner account. I'm like, what do you look like?
But, yeah, I don't know. Just, like, microaggressions, the freaking was.
Of the wazoo, as you say.
Was. But I guess now that I'm an adult, high school was the real transformative period for me. Where, like, oh, I am kind of cute, whatever.
Okay. Because
I went from, like, painfully insecure.
Yeah.
Like, using bleaching creams and shit. Like, dark places.
You just reminded me.
Dark places from, like, middle school, watching, like, the Sparks. I'm crying alone in my room because no one's ever gonna love me. To all-girls school, I didn't care. High school, no one liked me in the beginning, but then I had a little glow up, and then everyone suddenly caught interest. To college, I came into my own in college probably around junior year. Freshman and sophomore. I'm blacking it out of my memory. So, I don't know, I've had stages, but now I'm, like, very, obviously, well, I don't know if it's obvious, but I'm very comfortable with myself.
Yeah.
Whereas now I feel so unaffected by it, but there's still some things that happen, or can happen, or memories I have, to where, if you ask me, like, go back to when you felt like this when you were 12, I can still feel it. Yeah. Like, I still remember how I felt when I was that, like, painfully insecure. And I feel bad for my younger self. I'm like, that's so sad.
Yeah.
And, like, just knowing I felt like that, I'm like, if I ever, like, have a daughter or whatever, I'm like, I know how, I mean, it depends on where we're living, I guess, or how the times are then.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I know how that feels, and that's such, like, a specific feeling I feel like a lot of people have not felt. I don't know. To where you're just, like, deeply, like, I am ugly.
Girl.
You know what I mean?
No, I know, because you made me realize there was, like, a huge chunk I didn't even touch on. Like, if you think you were painfully insecure, you've seen me throughout the years. Like, no, like, trigger warning, sorry, like, no, I would, like, binge and purge middle through high school. I would binge eat so hard, make myself throw up, do it again. And then I'd go through phases of, like, oh, let me only eat 500 calories because I wanted to be just as skinny as those girls in middle school and high school. No, I literally hated myself until last year. Hated I thought I needed to be a white blonde girl, like, in middle school, high school, because I was darker, because I was in the sun, I actually got a vitamin D deficiency because I started avoiding the sun. Fully avoiding it. And they said when I went to the doctor, they were like, we have never seen this low of a vitamin D deficiency.
Yeah, for living in San Diego.
They were like, what the hell? No, I'd be in the library.
Oh my god.
What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
No, and like, especially with my hair, that's been a big thing. I had to love-hate relationship because it's a pain in the ass to take care of. But no, like, I wanted straight hair. I wanted to have my little Lululemon headband like all the other rich white girls had, even though I was
that was such a staple. Black. The thick.
Yes, I had the light blue one. I think I literally still have it. I do have it.
Bring it back. They're cute.
They are cute. But so like going from that to being told from the guy I have a crush on in 7th grade that I'm fat and pretty for a black girl. I heard how old are you in 7th grade? Like
13?
13. So the first time I heard I was pretty for a black girl was freaking 13 years old. So I carried that with me all throughout my experience. No, I never hooked up with anyone, had a boyfriend from that school. None of that. They literally all like white, blonde, very skinny girls. But that's such a La Jolla thing too.
I feel like that's such a SoCal.
Yeah, it's very niche and specific. And then fast forward to college, no, I was still insecure because how do I word this? I like put myself up against other women. Like I had a really hard time, even though I always had female friends. I have to this day. I'm working on it. I'm doing a good job, but I'm like I have to literally mentally tell myself they are not your competition. I can be pretty at the same time as a white blonde girl being pretty. Her beauty does not negate my beauty. And that was really hard for me to learn. I only started like truly learning that this year. Yeah. Like this is like, it's insane to me. I went 22, 23 years like feeling that way.
No, I felt that way for a minute, especially when I first got to
Oh yeah. It was hard. College is hard, and that kind of, it's a small white private school.
Right.
And so and it's crazy because I go from my small private high school to basically an equivalent college form, but a little bit bigger, a little bit better. But I still hated myself, and then I gained weight in college because weight would fluctuate throughout the years. No, now I was like 220, like 200, like, and I never realized how big I was until I lost the weight. But so now that's another thing. Like, guys are mean. Like, they want you to have that Instagram body that literally nobody has. Even very petite, skinny girls have stomach rolls when they sit down.
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that. And it took me forever to, like, realize that and just to be happy with myself without a man I would only feel beautiful if a man was acknowledging it.
Right.
Now I just feel beautiful because I am beautiful and like I'm putting the work into myself, like I'm taking care of myself. And so like now going into adulthood, getting out of that phase of where I'm obsessed with having a man, but I dated men who took from my life. They added nothing to the table. Like I focused my all just into this idea of someone who could make me feel beautiful when I was the one who needed to make myself feel beautiful the whole time.
Right.
So now I'm just fully in my single era, and it's so funny because now that I don't want anything with anybody, it's like everyone and their mama
frolicking.
Like, where were you guys when I was like, I want a man, my man, and now I'm like, get away from me, and they're everywhere. Granted, I work at a gym, does not help. Being the only girl, it's like,
I could not deal with that. I cannot deal with that now.
It's a lot. And so, but it's just, I don't know, it's wild because like you were saying how you felt bad, when you look at your past self. No, like, I've had to talk nicer to myself because I'm my harshest critic. I'm so mean. And I think about, like, let's say I make a mistake and in my head I'm like, you're so stupid, Kiara. I literally try and imagine my, like, 10-year-old self, my 12-year-old self. And I'm like, I'm literally like, well, don't say that shit.
Yeah.
But so it's like, it's been like a lot of mental rework. But, like, I'm we have the low days and the high days, but like I'm just so much happier with where I am in life in that regard. Like I found the confidence in myself. There's nothing wrong with being black, and there's nothing wrong with not being a white blonde girl. There's nothing wrong with being a little thicker. Like you don't need to be a string bean. If you are a string bean, that's awesome. We love that for you. But
I feel
don't
like
need
now,
to be that.
like so many, I don't know. It appears to me that a lot more like people don't really have specific types anymore. Like very hyper specific.
Which
so
is
like
what I
when
saw
we were
before.
younger, like early 2000s, mid 2000s, whatever. Like you had to be skinty,
because nothing tastes better than skinny feels.
which is crazy to say, but
right.
Like you had to be like skinty.
Like if you had an ass, they thought you were a fat bitch.
Yeah, literally. like 90s like rom-com girls, like up until we were what? I don't know. And then Tumblr.
They wanted
was like a whole era
built like either a board or like a pea.
So like I feel like in our like transformative years, that was the beauty standard. Where like now, if we were younger, it's so much like broader.
Yes.
That, yeah, I don't know how middle schoolers feel about themselves now, but yeah.
What's that generation called? The Alpha something?
Gen Alpha or whatever. Because we're on the older side of Gen Z. Because Gen Z starts from like 97 and ends in 2012.
I googled it the other day. So Gen Z is considered right now if you're through the ages of 12 and 27.
Whoa.
So we're getting roped in with the ones that are saying...
I would rather be that than a millennial.
Literally? No, so we're getting grouped in with the ones that are saying, I can't even say it, skibbity toilet riz. What the is that? What the is that? I'm so...
I've heard that.
I can't even... Skibbity toilet riz.
Stop, we sound old.
I'm like...
I don't even know what that is.
I can't. But no, and we've known each other since we were 18, our first year of college. So it's crazy to see our transformation too.
Seriously. Yeah. No, we've come a long way, for sure.
I know, I'm proud of us.
I am too.
I know. That's so cute.
But yeah. It's hard out here, guys. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we should make the comment thing a thing. If you're black, hello. You made it, welcome. Safe space. Comment down below. What's the craziest thing someone's ever told you that made you hate yourself?
If you're a person of color, even if you're white, comment your perspective on this too, because that's another thing. Like I feel like things like this don't cross white people's minds because it's not something they would necessarily think about because it's not happening.
Right.
So yeah, let us know what you think. Like if you have any questions, you know the drill. Like, comment, rate, subscribe, everything. Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. You know where to find us.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Bye.